Hey guys, welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you how to play a fingerstyle arrangement of Pure Imagination. So let's get into it. So for this arrangement we are in standard tuning and you need to put a capo on the 5th fret of your guitar. Also all the tabs for this lesson are available on my Patreon page. You can check out the link down below. So it's really simple. There's just two different parts. On the first part we're just playing the main idea, and on the second part we are just adding percussion to it. So let's start with the first part. It sounds like this. So we start by playing this. So we start by playing the open D string, and then we hammer on onto the 2nd fret of the D string with your middle finger, like that. So you play the open D string, then you hammer on. And after that you play the open G string while you're holding the previous note. And then you change to this chord. So that you're just adding these two fingers. So you're adding the ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string and the little finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. And you have this chord now. So you have the 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D string, open G string, and the 3rd fret of the B string. So this chord is actually a C add 9 chord. You're playing the A string, D string, G string and the B string with a roll, like that. Right after you do the hammer on, and you play that note, and then you do the roll. And after that the next part sounds like this. So it's a similar kind of idea. You do the hammer on again on the D string, you play the open D string, hammer on to the 2nd fret, play the open G string, and then you have this. So there you have a C minor 6 chord. So right after you played the hammer on and then the note, after that you change to this. So you're adding the index finger on the 1st fret of the D string and the middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. And you already had these two notes from the previous chord, the 3rd fret of the A string and the 3rd fret of the B string. So altogether you're playing the 3rd fret of the A string, the 1st fret of the D string, the 2nd fret of the G string and the 3rd fret of the B string. And this time instead of playing it with a roll like this, you play it all together. So you're plucking the A string, D string, G string and the B string together, like that. So altogether from the start you have this. One more time really slow. And then you have this. So right after you played the last part there, you have this. So there you lift up the middle finger there to play the open G string. Then you bring it back in onto the 2nd fret of the G string and you play that note, like that. And then you change to this chord. So there you're holding the note on the 2nd fret of the high E string with your index finger. And on the right hand you have this, where you're playing the open low E string, the open G string, the open B string and the high E string. And you play that with a roll like this, like that. And after that you have this. So there you're playing the 3rd fret and the 2nd fret. So you're playing 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, like that, alternatively. All on the high E string. So I'll play that one more time really slow. And from the start you have this. And then you have this part. There you have the open low E string, the second fret of the G string, and the second fret of the high E string all together. So on the right hand you're playing the low E string, G string, and the high E string together. And after that you add this note on the third fret of the B string and you play that. So from the last part you have this. And after that you have this part. So right after you played this part in the end, you have this now. So there you're playing the open D string and then you're hammering onto the second fret of the D string with your index finger, like that. And after that you play the open G string, like that. And then you change to this chord. So there you have a C major 7 chord, you have the third fret of the A string, the second fret of the D string, the open G string and the open B string. So you plug the A string, D string, G string and the B string together, like that. And after that you have this. So there you're playing the first fret of the B string and then you're playing the third fret of the B string while holding the chord. So all together you have this. And then you have this part. So there you're changing to this chord where you have the third fret of the A string, the first fret of the D string and the second fret of the G string. Plug all of them together, the A string, D string and the G string. So from the previous chord. And after that you have this. So you let go of this note, so now you have the open G string. And then you play the note on the fourth fret of the D string, like that. So all together you have this. One more time. And then you have this part. So there you have this. So there you're playing the open low E string, the note on the fifth fret of the A string, and the note on the fourth fret of the D string. All of them together with a roll. The low E string, the A string, and the D string. And after that you have this. So there you're playing the open G string, then the note on the fourth fret of the D string, then the G string again. And after that you have this. So there you're playing the D string and then the A string, like that. And in the end you're just playing the bass note once, the open low E string. One more time, really slow. So if I play the whole thing once from the start really slow, it sounds like this. So that's the first part. After that you have the second part where you're just adding the percussion and a few extra notes. So the second part sounds like this. So you start by playing this part. So there you're playing the open D and G string with the slap, you're ringing those two strings, and then you're hammering onto the second fret of the D string, like that. So if you don't know this technique, I'm going to explain it really briefly. So there you're playing the open D string and the open G string with your index finger using this motion. So you're using the tip of the nail of your index finger and using this outward motion to play those two strings, like that. And at the same time, you're slapping your thumb onto the lower strings to create that percussive sound. And you're doing both of them together, like that. So you're kind of simultaneously ringing the strings with the index finger and slapping your thumb onto the lower strings, like that. And after you ring the strings with the slap, then you hammer on onto the 2nd fret of the D string. Then you play the open G string. So this is the exact same idea as the last time. You just played it without the slap the last time. This time you're adding the slap. And then you have this chord, the C add 9 chord that you played before. And after that you have this. So there in the end you're adding these 2 extra notes, where you're playing the A string and then the D string. And after that you have this. So again you're playing the open D and G strings together with the slap, doing the hammer on onto the 2nd fret of the D string, then playing the open G string. And then this time you have this chord, the 2nd chord, the C minor 6 chord that you played before. And after that you play the A string and the D string. So all together you have this from the start. And then you have this part. So there you're playing the 1st fret of the D string and the open G string together with the slap. Then you're adding the note on the 2nd fret of the G string and you're playing that note. And then you change to that chord. So you start by playing this. So there you have the roll where you're playing the open low E string, G string, B string and the 2nd fret of the high E string. And after that you have this part. So there you're playing the bass note, the open low E string and then the 3rd fret of the high E string, like that. And after that you have this. So there you're back on the 2nd fret of the high E string. You're ringing the open G string, B string and the 2nd fret of the high E string with the slap. And then you're playing this. You're playing 3, 2, 3, the 3rd fret, 2nd fret and the 3rd fret of the high E string. Like that. So all together you have this. One more time. I'm going to play it once from the start till here really slow. It sounds like this. And then you have this part. So there you're playing the same thing that you played before. Playing the low E string, the G string and the high E string together. Then you're adding the note on the B string. So all together you have this. And then you have this part. So there again you're playing the open G and the D string with the slap. And then you're playing the hammer on and then the open G string. Same thing as before. And then you change the chord to this. So there you have the C major 7 chord that you played before. Plug the A string, D string, G string and the B string together. And after that you play the A string and then the D string. Like that. And after that you have this. So there you're adding the note on the 1st fret of the B string. So now you're ringing the D string, G string and the B string together with a slap. And then you're playing the 3rd fret of the B string. So all together you have this. One more time. And after that you have this part. So there you change the chord to this, where you have the C minor 6 chord that you played before. You have the 3rd fret of the A string, the 1st fret of the D string and the 2nd fret of the G string. Plug the A, D and G strings together. And after that you play the A string and then the D string. And then you lift this note up and you play the D string and the G string together with a slap. and then you play the note on the 4th fret of the D string. Like that. So I'll play it once from the C major 7 chord till here. It sounds like this. And then you have this part. So there you have the same chord that you played earlier. So there you have the 5th fret of the A string, the 4th fret of the D string. You're playing the roll starting from the low E string. And then you're playing this, where you're playing the open G string, then the D string, and then the open G string again, just like the last time. And after that you slap and you ring these two, the A string and the D string. So you have this. One more time. And right after the slap, you play the note on the 5th fret of the A string, and then the open low E string in the end. One more time. So I'll play the whole thing once from the start till this point, really slow, so it sounds like this. So that's it for the last part. That's the whole song. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this helped. All the tabs for this lesson are available on my Patreon page. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, then subscribe to my channel. Also, if you have any questions or requests for song tutorials, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.